Hello, we are live. Hello, welcome back to Happy Hour. Welcome everyone who's new to Happy Hour, and welcome Adele to Happy Hour. I'm so excited to officially meet you and chat and hang out. This is such a delight. Would you like to briefly share who you are, what your channel is, kind of generally what you post and talk about?
Yeah, so I am Adele. I do AuthorTube on here, so I post writing videos, specifically writing vlogs. Just kind of my goal is to just kind of share my writing journey and process as genuinely as and transparently as I can. And yeah, so on Instagram I also do writing stuff, and I also own a small business, and I do a lot of different things. But yes, on YouTube I do writing stuff.
Sweet. That's definitely how I originally found your channel, I think, through NaNoWriMo one year and was like, oh, great. Like instant subscribe NaNoWriMo vlogs, writing vlogs. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I feel like the community of people who consistently post writing process vlogs is pretty small. And so it's fun to see someone pretty generously sharing about their process because it is such it can be such an intimate thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How did you decide I'm gonna make writing videos?
So I've been writing my whole life, and so I grew up writing for years and years and years, and I was looking up I had been looking up writing videos, and I didn't exactly, I didn't know of writing blogs at the time, and this was early college for me, so this was 2016, 2017. And I was looking up writing videos, but I didn't know I was looking for a writing blog, so I wasn't exactly typing that. And all the writing videos I was finding was just advice and stuff, which is great, but it's it's how to write this or blah blah blah. And I was trying to find people who are just I guess
Right.
what I wanted to see was just someone sharing their writing process super casual, and I think I was feeling really alone in this is so hard. And I wanted to see that. So in 2018, I just randomly, I was like, I'm just gonna start talking to a camera about what I'm doing. And I didn't have any, because I had done some YouTube videos before then, but they were just random stuff. It wasn't really writing based. So I was like, I'm just gonna make a video about me writing. And so this was it was 2018, it was the summer, and I was, it was the summer between college years. And somehow it just blew up. And literally from that, I think that video, that first writing vlog, is still my number one most viewed video or something.
No way.
And that NaNoWrimo, I did NaNoWrimo for the first time, and I was like, I guess I'll just keep, filming. And that NaNoWrimo specifically, I remember, was it just blew up, and I hit 1,000 subscribers within 2 months or something. It was crazy. It slowed down a lot since then, but that was the initial bump. So I think a lot of people will comment or message me and say that they found me through NaNoWrimo as well. So that seems to be my big thing.
So fun. I know NaNoWrimo has been I don't know. I started NaNoWrimo in high school, and I think last year was now I've lost track because at one point it was this is my 6th year. I think this is 12 or 13 years in a row I'll be doing NaNoWrimo, which is sounds a lot more impressive than it is, because there's been years where I start for a week and then putter out, but there's definitely been ups and downs. But last year I won, and it was okay, I could still do it because it had been 2 years. I still got it. But I originally found out about NaNoWrimo in high school from YouTuber Christina Horner. And she doesn't really post anymore. Like she's like married and has a baby, and I follow her on Instagram, and she'll like post every once in a while. It's like very nostalgic, but I feel like you have a very similar energy to her. I don't know if you ever watched her channel, but she would post about like writing and gaming and reading, and it was like, oh, those are like the similar trifecta of like Adele's interests, my interests.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a specific energy. And she did this like legendary NaNoWriMo theme song, like probably 15 years ago at this point, but it's still like iconic. It's like part of my October planning every year.
Oh,
like I have to watch the NaNoWriMo theme song. Have you never heard of the theme song?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, I will send it to you. It is
Please do.
so funny. It gets me every time.
I think I may have heard of her, but I don't like it sounds familiar, but I don't I'm not sure. I'd probably have to see her face, but even then I don't know if I would have seen, but
it's like such a specific era of YouTube also, and like now every year that goes by, every October when I watch that video, I'm like, wow, this was just a time capsule of YouTube, and like the editing and the like costumes and everything that she did was like, oh
yeah, the skit era.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like making like little songs and skits. I did NaNoWriMo last year for the first time and it went great. I love that so much.
That's so much fun. Yeah, my NaNoWriMo journey has gotten kind of the opposite, I guess. I don't know, like I first did NaNoWriMo in 2018, so that's been 5 years now, I guess. This will be the 6th year, I think. And in college, which is weird because you think counterintuitively, because college you're supposed to be super busy, but like in college, I was writing all the time.
Yeah,
just
same.
Like constant, just creative and all this stuff. And I like went above and beyond all of it. I won NaNoWriMo like so many years in a row, graduated college in 2019, and I think 2020 was the last year that I actually felt really good about NaNoWriMo and like I won. And then since then I've done NaNoWriMo like 21 and 22, those 2 years. Like I've done them, but like I haven't won, I haven't reached my goal. And it's been hard for me as someone who's very, like I'm doing all this and I'm so good at writing and achieving my goals and all this stuff. And especially being like in college at the time with like academia and stuff. And I was very like, so good at all this. To then not winning and having a big like life, changes and being done with college and all this stuff. And then suddenly like my writing is like, I'm not really writing as often as I was. And it's a lot harder for me for some reason. I don't know if it's just, being an adult now or whatever, but it's interesting because you would think the opposite because I've been self-employed and working from home for about 2 years now. And you would think during that time that I would be like, just churning it all out. But like, it's been the complete opposite for some reason. I cannot seem to get back to like where I was with writing, which is like a weird feeling, but I try to look at it positively sometimes, I guess.
I totally get you though, because like same thing, when I was in college and I had 5,000 other things to do, it was, I could much more easily compartmentalize. And maybe because I was also writing and reading a bunch of other stuff that it was like such a fun release to be like, no, I'm going to write my own stuff today. And I was in such a good routine and I was writing so much all the time. And then as soon as I graduated and got my first job, which was like 9 to 5, which should have been so easy to just like carve out the time around it. Oh, clocking out, going home. And here comes my writing time. That was like, I struggled with that a lot. And then when I started freelancing, because I was like a full-time freelance writer for a little while. And it was like, that should have been like cake easy to like build in my own writing around it. But it was like, I really struggled with the work-life balance alone, let alone work-life creativity balance, So I totally get you. It's hard to feel like piecing it in amid like making money and paying your bills and like your relationships and like self-care and like doing laundry. And then it's like, oh yeah, I also want to do my own creative projects.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely hard. And like also during this time of like being self-employed and working from home and all this stuff, like I finally for the first time ever had my own office where like I had a room specifically like and I'm in my office here. We just moved, but like when we my first office was in our old house and like I finally had a whole room to myself and it was like my office and I'm like this is it, let's go, like I'm about to be so good. And it was like the complete opposite to I was writing so much better like in class like doing this instead of paying attention to writing notes. Like
Right.
I don't know what it is, but it's weird.
It is weird. There's such a specific like not writer's block, but like writer procrastination. Like my house is never as clean as it is during NaNoWriMo, you know, it's and like now because my partner knows, everyone in my life knows it's like, oh, November, don't ask Noel to hang out. What's your word count for the day? But he will say, like, why are you like dusting the baseboards? Have you written today yet? And I'm like, well, it just really needed to be done. Like it's just so hard. Like
Mhm.
I will break those promises to myself all the time when it's like, oh, but I have other things to do. When really I'm just like putting off the uncomfortable sit down in front of a blank page and write a bunch of shitty words for the day.
Mhm.
That it's like that's like a very specific,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
intimate, vulnerable experience that I need to be better at.
Absolutely. No, same here. And it's been hard, as someone who creates content online for people to
Yeah,
watch that is all about my writing, where in my normal day-to-day life, like I have not been writing like people message me like, please, how do you do like work-life balance and all this stuff? And I'm like, I film for 2 hours a day, and then that's all I do. Like, I'm done writing for the next 2 weeks, and it didn't used to be like that, but lately it's been like that, and it sucks, and it feels really hard sometimes coming up with content because it's like, I don't know how to make writing vlogs, which is, like, my whole thing and people know me for, if I'm literally not even writing and don't even feel like writing and doing all this stuff. So it it is hard to, like, not have it feel performative sometimes in a way.
for
Uh,
sure.
Again, just lately, I'm not like this hasn't been my whole thing, but for some reason lately, I just yeah, it's hard.
I get you. I think there's very much this like romanticized like ideal of what the life of a writer should be like and what the process should be like, which is
Mhm.
like sitting, in front of a big window at your writer's desk with a cup of coffee and the words just come to you easily and no problem at all. Which is like the idea that I have in my brain is like that's what I want it to feel like, and it never is that. And then a few weeks ago, my boyfriend and I went to a lecture from Saba Tahir, like author of a bunch of my favorite books, and
Mhm.
she had like come to my like local university to give a lecture, and I was like, we're going. That was like our exciting date night. And part of the way through her lecture, or it might have been like during the Q&A section, she was talking about how people always ask me like my writing process, and like I have published, she's like published 5 books now, and I don't know ever how to answer that question. Like I wake up and I make coffee and I scroll on TikTok for hours, and then I panic about not having written today, and my boyfriend is like, poking me. Like, like if she can do it, it's like it's not like I
Yeah,
have built up what I think it should be, and it really is just like everyone procrastinates and freaks out about it, and it's like a super normal, like not ugly part of the process, but very real human part of the
yeah,
process that I just need to like come to terms with.
yeah, absolutely. And I've definitely gone through times with I where I guess it feels more valid in the sense of, over the years, like I've always dealt with like mental illness and mental health issues and stuff like that. In the past few years, like I had really big life changes. I had a really big, just like mental stuff with like my depression and anxiety and stuff, and I was like hospitalized and all this stuff. And then I took a big hiatus from writing and YouTube for like 6-7 months or something, and everyone was so nice. And when I came back and I was, like I'm doing it and I'm here and I'm trying again, but like I'm trying to be easy on myself because I just had all this, and everyone was so nice, and they're like, you know, take your time, like that's totally cool. And people are still nice about it, but like I feel like in my head now it's like, am I just not doing it because I'm lazy? Do I feel lazy? Do I feel so like I still, it's, I guess before it felt valid because it's like, oh, it's mental health issues. And now that I'm not currently going through anything crazy, I just, for some reason, can't write. And it somehow feels less valid, even though everyone's been super kind and like nice and cool about it. But it's like I go like 2 weeks without uploading a video and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm letting everyone down. And it's totally not cool for me to do this and all this stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like sometimes I wish I was having terrible depression right now. So it's like an excuse for why I've been so bad at writing. But
I get you. It's like, it's hard to justify. It's like a creative craft like that. It's hard to say like, well, if you're a carpenter and it's like there's a lumber shortage, that's like really easy to be like, well, I can't work because
yeah,
there's no wood. But it's a lot harder when you're a writer to be like, I can't write. There's no words.
yeah. It's like it's all in your head.
It's like, what? Yeah, like you make the words, but it's
Yeah,
for some reason it feels different.
absolutely.
I'm terrible at writing, but love living vicariously through people like you too. Here's the big secret: also terrible at writing.
Yes.
I do it anyway. Like it's all garbage.
You just gotta, yeah.
Takes a lot of polish before I let anyone else lay an eye on it. I'm still a newbie writer. I had to put it off, but then last year my imagination took off. That's amazing.
That's awesome. I love that. I wish that happened to me. Please take advantage of it. Ride that as long as you can.
Right. Elizabeth's here. So would like me to be late to happy hour. Welcome. Welcome. I kind of sprung it on you. That one's probably on me. This morning I was like, oh my God, I still need to schedule it. Let's go. Procrastination is so easy. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't I know it?
Seriously.
Wholeheartedly believe in you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
What would you tell in your like writer, content creator expertise if a writer came to you or like one of your subscribers and was like, this is what I'm struggling with. I just can't seem to write. I don't know what's going on with me. What would be your advice to them?
My advice would be like, that's totally fine. Like, give yourself the grace and be patient and all this stuff. And it's stuff I've literally always told everyone like that. But for some reason, it's so hard to like take your own advice. And I know that's like a super common thing, but I could say that as much as I want, but then I'm like you're just choosing to not, like you're just laying there on your phone, like you're just making the choice to not write. So like, are you really a writer and stuff, which I know is like not true because I'm like, no, you got it, you're great, just keep, but God, we're all just really hard on ourselves. So
yes,
but I don't mean to like so depressing.
I know. Well, this is how happy hour goes. It just kind of takes us where it leads.
Mm-hmm.
But even like content wise, which like I can't imagine. Like my content is a lot more book heavy, booktube heavy. But I have done some like writing blogs. Usually every NaNoWriMo I'll do a couple. But and those are like the hardest videos I ever make, is like having to remember to do like little writing updates, and how much do I share? How much do I keep secret? How much of like the ugly stuff do I share? It's like, it's like amazing to me that's like your content is like, that's what you do. And I can't even imagine being like, oh, I have to make content and I'm struggling to even do the thing for myself, let alone like make content about it. That sounds tricky.
It's the hardest thing. That's like the biggest thing I'm dealing with right now is like, just mental health aside, lately, like very recently, just a lot of life stuff's happening with like my work and my store, and um, like it's like a lot of stressors and stuff. So like I guess it makes sense, but it's really hard with all that happening and just like not even having time to write, even if I wanted to, and then being like, how do I still, you know, do YouTube and like make content if the whole like the whole point of my channel is this, and I had not had, but like I'll randomly make, I guess specifically more in the past few years or so, I'll have random I'll make random videos that aren't necessarily a writing blog, but it's like, you know, here's a day in my life as a business owner or something. So it's like still relevant to me, and it's kind of adjacent because it's a vlog, but it's not like a writing vlog, but it's just like, here's what I do for my work and stuff. And in the past, I've gotten comments of like, so are you even a writing channel anymore? And it's like, I posted one video. Like, that's,
Oh my gosh.
so then I'm like, God, I can't do anything else because people only care about their writing vlogs. And at this point, I don't know if it's just like the YouTube algorithm, but like if I do a video of anything else, it like doesn't get the same amount of reach or views or anything. And you know, over the past 2 years or so, basically since I came back from that long hiatus I was talking about, my like the YouTube analytics have not, you know, because I stopped being active, so
Yeah.
it makes sense. But like all my views and everything has gone down so much, so it's still like, do I even keep going with this? Like
Right.
it's hard to feel like I should keep going, like people want to watch this because, you know, the numbers are different. But
Yeah. I've been through similar spirals where it's like, what's the point? Like, I spend all this time, I do all these things, or like the video that I was most excited about is the one that performed the worst. Like, what's going on? I feel you there. And I think probably every YouTuber creator has like goes through those ups and downs. And at a certain point, it's like, okay, am I burned out? Am I bored? Am I frustrated with like performance or like lack thereof? Like what? Can I not make a certain kind of video? Because you're right. Once you claim a niche, it's hard to kind of claw outside of it. But yeah, all of the fun like behind the scenes stuff that no one really talks about, as far as like content creation goes, it's like sometimes I feel like it's almost a little bit of a taboo to say like, oh, this thing I made didn't do very well, or people feel I think like you're fishing for views or whatever, but really it's just like, oh man, this is like a something that I do spend so much time on, and such a bummer when you feel like, oh, I'm proud of this or I spent time on this only for it to not perform how you thought it would, let alone have it be connected to like a really like vulnerable like creative craft. Like it's all kind of tangled up together.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very vulnerable process. I mean, writing in general, like you were saying, is so intimate and vulnerable just for yourself. So it's definitely weird sharing it sometimes, like with so many people. I think I've gotten used to it at this point, but I do sometimes struggle with the whole like how much do I show like with my writing and stuff like that, because it's like, you know, I'm not published. I'm not a published author. I'm just writing. You know, I want to be published, but like I'm not there, and that's fine. And so it's like, how much do I show? Like, are people going to take my ideas or blah blah blah? And I get messages and comments all the time because I guess the one, so like you said, everyone found me through like NaNoWriMo, and like my main project that I've been working on for years, which is Project Orion, has been like, it is my absolute baby. I love it so much, and it's the one I've spent the most time on, and the one that I have filmed the most. So everyone like only knows that. Even when I have times where I'm like, I'm taking a break from that project and I'm writing other things, and they're like, when is Project Orion coming back? You know, when can we read Project Orion? It's like I'm writing so many different things, and it like I appreciate the excitement for sure. But like it sometimes makes me feel bad, like I'm not doing enough to like get it out to the world, like I'm not being fast enough because they all want to read it, or like people wouldn't care about any of the other projects that I'm writing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, there's this like weird sense of obligation in a way, and I mean a little bit of the idea of like who does art belong to, like who gets to be the gatekeepers, and like can we demand artists to like produce and share, like it's messy and it's frustrating, like not super helpful when you're like, oh, but there's other things I'm working on, or there's other things I'm excited about, or I'm really not working on that right now. But yeah. Bruce is the protagonist of my current work in progress. So yes, good old Brucey really needs some attention right now, probably. Yeah, gotta love him. Will you tell us a little bit about Project Orion for the folks that don't know?
Yeah, so Project Orion, like I was saying, is like my main project, and it is my absolute baby, and I love it. And I also wish it was done because I'm like, man, like sometimes I'm thinking like I want to read Project Orion, and it's like, oh, I'm writing that. I have to do that. But Project Orion is a speculative fiction, light sci-fi, light fantasy novel, and it follows the protagonist Orion, who is an air pirate. It's very, it's like light steampunk. Love steampunk and like light science stuff like that. But she's an air pirate, and she has to like team up with this like rival gang of air pirates to get this guy's fugitive sister out of the country. And then it's like there's like more to it, but that's like the general premise, I guess. But I do love it very much, and I love my characters, and I miss them all the time, and I want to work on it constantly. But yeah. I love air pirates and stuff like that.
I know. As soon as you said that, it made me think of Lin-Manuel Miranda's character in His Darkest Materials, which is like based on the Golden Compass.
Listen to me. Oh my god. Okay. I'm about to go on a whole thing. Okay.
Please.
Okay. That series, okay, I know I don't know if they're still making it. I started watching the show, and it is really good. That book series is my favorite book series in the world. That is literally what Project Orion is like based.
Oh my gosh!
Not like based on, but it's like a huge inspiration for me. That is like one of my favorite books and book series ever, and it is so dear to my heart. And I need to finish watching like the series, but yes, that is like literally the exact vibe that Project Orion is and want to go.
That's amazing. That's like instantly what popped into my head.
Oh my god!
I haven't read the books, but I would love to.
So good.
And I have such mixed feelings about the TV show because I'm so intrigued and obsessed with the characters in the world, but I'm just really not sold on the writing of the show. Like I just find it to be kind of a mediocre TV show, but the concept and everything else is like a great time. So my partner and I have been like slowly working our way through, and it's one of those shows where it's like every episode it's like, man, I'm so invested, but I only halfway want to watch it. But I keep thinking like maybe the next season will be better, but it is addicting.
Well, the books are really good. I need to watch the show. I think I've watched like the first 2 episodes or something. But yeah, the world building and like the vibe and like the aesthetics and stuff is like exactly what I'm going for. It's the story, the stories are different, the plots are different, but yeah, definitely the world building and like the character types and the vibes and stuff like that's exactly what I'm going for. So that actually makes me so happy.
Perfect. No, what is it called in His Dark Materials? Like an airman or something?
Yeah, it's like the air like the pirate. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember.
I know. He has a little hair for his
Yeah.
women.
John Scoresby, is that his name?
John, yeah, Scoresby something.
Scoresby or something? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Um,
along those lines. I think he just goes by Scoresby most of the time, anyways.
mhm.
But yeah, what a guy.
Love those books.
Mental state is shot. Can't read or write at the moment. You know, you just gotta take care of yourself.
Yes,
Like,
do.
yeah.
Very important.
I just let my characters talk to me while I write everything down.
That's so
See,
smart.
I need to be better about like just like free writing outside of manuscript. I'm just doing more kind of like sandboxy stuff. I don't do a lot of that. I do a lot of like write terrible scenes that make no sense and have no effect on the plot to get to know my characters. But then it's like I need to just separate that out and just let them do their own thing in some other Word document. But that is a good way to, I think, just get to know your characters. Oh. Yeah, you know, you got to put your mental health first, always.
Self-care. It's very important.
Self-care. I would love, you kind of briefly mentioned your business in your store. I would love to hear about Magpie and Crow. I know you're recently just announced that you're getting a physical store, which is so wild.
Thank you. Yeah, so I, like you had mentioned with the trifecta of like writing, books and gaming, that is very much me. I've always been a big gamer. My partner's a big gamer. My partner and I, a few years, like 2 years ago or something, we started like selling games and stuff online. He had owned a fairly successful and popular like a retro game store, like a physical store in Texas where we had met, and it closed down because of COVID in 2020. And so since then, like he stopped doing that, and then we both were like, let's like do the same thing, but like we like reimagined the whole thing. And so we started as like or we didn't start as business partners, but we were together and then started a business. And so it was mostly just like online or like selling at conventions and trade shows and stuff like that. And yeah, so we're both big into like retro gaming and stuff like that. And yeah, we've just been doing that, and it's been getting bigger and bigger. That's what I've been doing, like working from home, self-employed. We just sell online and in person at places. I did also work part-time as the social media manager for like a collectibles auction site. So I was very just much involved in all that anyway, but it's just been getting more and more successful, and we need more room for inventory, but also like we have the availability to open up a shop. So it'll be my partner's second, well, technically third location because he had two before, but it'll be my first time like opening a store. But we've been doing this for about 2 years. We finally like just signed a lease, and so excited we're gonna actually open a store. And I've never like had a store, you know what I mean? Like you're like a business owner, but it's like, oh, like a business, so anyone can be a business owner, you know, on like online for business. But it's like we're like legally incorporated now, and like we have like documents and like business bank accounts and all this stuff. And it, you know, a lot of people do that, I'm sure, but like for me, it's like, oh my God, like I'm business girl. Hi. So yes, but it's very exciting. We're finally opening a store, and we're hoping to be open this summer, hopefully by August 1st, which is my birthday, so that'd be really fun.
Wow. Oh, that's super special.
Yeah, so it's terrifying and it's going to be so much work, but we're excited.
Wow, that's so exciting. Congrats.
Thank you.
Such a big deal.
Yeah.
What is it, like used books, used games, or just like a mix of everything?
Yeah, so it's gonna be like mostly used. We do like we've always been thrifting and like garage sailing and stuff like that. We love buying secondhand goods and stuff like that. It's retro games is like our specialty. We do also have like modern games, so it's basically all games. But we also do action figures, toys, trading cards. More in the collectibles side of like the action figures and toys and stuff like that, like vintage. And we'll have like some comics and stuff. And like vinyl records and everything. We're gonna have a whole space in the shop. It's about 2,200 square feet, so it's pretty good size.
Yeah.
We are gonna have a space that's gonna be sort of like the free play hangout area. We've got a bunch of arcade machines, so we're gonna be putting those in, and just like free play consoles and like a couch. And we want it to look very much like your mom's basement back in the 90s and stuff.
Yes.
So we're super excited.
That is so fun. I love that like very specific vibe, like your mom's basement in the 90s.
Yeah.
I can picture it. That's so fun. So my boyfriend just visited his grandparents out of state like last week, and he came back with one single souvenir. He's like, I'm so excited. I got the coolest thing while I was at Grandma and Grandpa's. And he takes out a Super Nintendo and all of the controllers and all of the games. And he's like, this is the console. This is the first like video games that I ever played was on this. And I was like, do you mean on a Super Nintendo or this Super Nintendo? And he's like, this one. Like, this is the first thing I ever played a game on. And like, we're both big gamers. So it's like, wow, that's going to have like a place of honor. We could plug it in. We have the games, we have the controllers. And like, this is cool. Like, this is a cool thing that we own now. But
that's so fun. I love
it's super fun. Like a big part of our relationship is like playing games together. Even though it's like we individually have super different taste, but then there's games that it's like we do a lot of co-op or multiplayer together. That's super fun. Do you guys play games together?
Yeah. So we're both big gamers. We both have been gaming like our whole lives separately. We do play games together. We mostly do like couch co-op stuff. I play like online stuff. Like I really like Overwatch is like my favorite online. And he'll play with me sometimes, but he doesn't do online as much. But like with couch co-op games, like it's been so busy, so we haven't played many lately together. But like Nidhogg is really fun. Speedrunners, I think, is what it's been forever. That one's really fun. But just like things like that, or we like we'll play our own games but like next to each other, because like our whole house is like game memorabilia. I mean, I've got Overwatch. What side am I on? Overwatch statues like down here and everything, and like
awesome.
my whole. We're gonna get a behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
here. Everything's connected. I don't even know.
I love all your art that you have too. That's awesome. Oh yes. Oh yes.
And so this is just my office, but like our whole living room is, our living room is basically just the game room. Everything's decked out.
Yeah.
But we like to just play like our separate games next to each other and kind of just like watch and everything. So we're really big into that. And it's fun like with retro gaming. And I think there's a big, the stereotype when you think of retro gaming right now is like you said, like the Nintendo and stuff like that. And that's, that's obviously a huge part of retro gaming, but we just love the preservation of it. And like we fix things, we offer repairs and stuff like that. We really want to focus on like preserving this like gaming history stuff. So we buy, sell, trade all types of games and everything like that. And so like for him, so he just turned 36. So he was very much in that Nintendo, Sega era. I am about to be 25. So the retro gaming for me is a little bit different, but we really want to, I grew up with like PS1, PS2, GameCube. So we just really like preserving the history and like showing everyone like retro gaming is like fun for everyone, and like it's going to change throughout the generations, and like I just think it's really special and fun, and it holds that like nostalgia. And
Yeah.
so I'm yeah, I think I just went on a long rant about different retro gaming stuff. I don't even know what your question
I'm
was.
so here for it. This is like, so we just rearranged our entire house so that our like gaming desks could be right next to each other. You can kind of see in like the mirror behind me too. It's like that's his setup, and then like mine is right next to it. And like literally last night, our idea of like a fun Saturday night was like we play like League of Legends team fight tactics together a lot because you can queue together. But I was like, I'm in such a lower like elo than him. I'm like, why do I suck at this game? Like, can you just coach me? And so he just like sat here and watched and was like coaching me at my own game. And it was like, wow, like this is the life. If I could tell my like 15-year-old self, you know. But what also our favorite co-op right now is called Ship of Fools, which is from the same studio that made Overcooked. I don't know if you've played Overcooked.
Oh,
But
I love Overcooked.
Chaos in the Kitchen. That's like our favorite co-op game.
It's
So a few
so
months
fun.
ago, they released Ship of Fools apparently, and we just like discovered it like last week or the week before. So that's our current obsession. Is
I need to look
Ship
that
of Fools.
up.
It's a co-op roguelike.
Oh,
It is very fun, but very like frustrating in the same way that Overcooked
it
is.
looks fun. Yeah.
It's
No,
super
I
fun.
love Overcooked. I adore Overcooked. He can get really frustrated with it though. But yeah, Overcooked is so much fun. I will have to look into this one, but
yeah, it's a good time.
I love
We
it.
love Overcooked. We both work in hospitality, and so he's like worked in a bunch of kitchens, and so he's like we like use legit like kitchen jargon to get to levels, and it's like way too fun.
That's cute. That's fun.
Are you a Final Fantasy girl?
Yes, I am. I think because I showed my wall in front of me. I think there's a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff in there. We both love Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 8 is his favorite. Final Fantasy 12 is my favorite. Final Fantasy 7 is great. That's the one everyone knows, and that's the big remake and all this stuff. It's great. It's a little overhyped sometimes, but yeah, definitely big Final Fantasy people.
Have you ever thought about making, or maybe you already do, have you done any like gaming content?
So I have not currently. I have wanted to make gaming content for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to stream and stuff like that. And that's something that's like a random goal that I've been trying to like actively work towards. It's been hard just with being busy and stuff, but
right.
I absolutely want to. And he and I have talked about like streaming together and all this stuff because we think we're like really funny, and like people always
talk about that all the time. We're like, we should stream together.
But like people tell us like we're super, because we'll do streams. We've done streams like non-gaming streams for like our business and auctions and stuff like that. And like people always tell us like we have really great chemistry and like they'd love to watch us play games. And we're like, we should do this and stuff. And like, yeah, we have ideas like that all the time. Definitely want to do that. We want to start a podcast and all this stuff, but like it's already like hard dealing with all the stuff that I have in my life. But yes, absolutely want to do gaming content and like stream gaming stuff. Probably not on this channel because I don't think anyone would like it, but definitely as a separate thing. And it's kind of related, I guess, like I had mentioned with the day of my life as a business owner kind of content. We have done some vlogs on my channel of running our business and like doing different auctions or going thrift sailing and like sourcing inventory. We will be and are currently filming just like the vlog, like a vlog of the process of opening the store. It'll be we're recording the process on like the business's Instagram, like in the stories and stuff, but like I'm also currently filming like just random bits and pieces of it. And yeah, I've debated on like if I should put it on my channel or if we should start something else, because I don't know. But definitely yes to gaming content.
Yes, do it. I thought about it too. It's something I want to do eventually. And like last year, I went through this whole brief moment where I was like, I'm gonna rebrand and I'm gonna do gaming content. And I like made the Twitch account, and it's still hooked up to my StreamYard. Anytime I schedule a live stream, it's like, do you want to stream on YouTube or Twitch? And I'm like, oh, it gets me every time. Like, that's right, I forgot I did that. But yeah, like one of these days, because that's most of the content that I consume. It's like I make content about books, but most of the content that I consume is like gaming content. So there's like, I need to bridge those somehow, but that's been a goal of mine for a while too.
Same here. Yeah. Like people ask me often like, oh, did you see this author tuber's new video? And like, I know of all the author tubers, and I definitely, before I started doing writing content, definitely watched it all the time. And I'll still watch it whenever I need inspiration and stuff like that. Like I don't really keep up with like things going on in like the AuthorTube community, so I feel like I'm like not an outcast, but I feel like I'm not in on like all of this stuff. But yeah, in my free time, I don't really, honestly, I watch gaming content and like K-pop content. So
iconic.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi Noah. I don't know if you're still here, but
I'm at work. I can't say. Wanted to say hello. Hello, Sid.
Oh.
Welcome. Speaking of, there's like, so I feel you on the level where it's like, this is the niche that I'm in, but I don't watch a lot from that niche, except for a handful of people, and Sid is one of those people.
Oh, nice.
Just watch your oddly specific. Yes, exactly. Which I think you posted like today. It's on my list. Hi, Sunday. My dog's name is Sunday.
Cute.
On a Sunday, yes. Nice. I need to watch this video. Best thing to hear. See, it's like, and I love the community, and it's just like another thing. Like, man, I need to carve out time. Not a joke, but like something that I think of a lot when it comes to content creation in a certain niche is like those memes where it's a triangle and it's like pick two, and it's make your own content, consume the content, or like read or write, like whatever the keystone is to that niche. And I feel that all the time. It's like either I'm making content and consuming a lot of like booktube content or whatever, but I'm not reading for shit, which is like, oh man, what am I going to create content about? Or I'm like reading a bunch and I'm watching a bunch, but not posting anything on my channel. It's like the constant struggle.
Yeah, you cannot have all three. Like, absolutely. Yeah. I relate so hard to that.
Like too, let alone, have other hobbies or other responsibilities.
Yeah. How's Meat? So my dog is named Dog Meat. From Fallout, ironically, since we're talking about games, from Fallout, like usually it's like old people who like don't know the game. They're like, oh, like they think like we eat our dog or something. But Dog Meat is doing well, unless you meant Baby Meat. Baby Meat's also doing well.
Oh my gosh.
Which Baby Meat is the name that my subscribers in a live stream gave to this. Do you know those like super realistic reborn dolls?
Yes.
Yeah. So we found one thrifting, and we're like, oh my god, we have to get this. So we've got this like super creepy reborn doll, and I showed it in a live stream one time, and everyone's like, well, your dog's name is Dog Meat, so you should name it Baby Meat, which sounds way worse. But no, they're both doing great.
That's amazing. Like what a little fun fact.
And honestly, Baby Meat, this doll has like a permanent place in our living room, which we always forget about. So we're like, oh, it's like a joke. Like we're just, and then we'll like have people, like we're having people over, like some new friends, because we just moved to North Carolina. So we're like, oh, we're going to meet new people. So we're like, getting to know new friends kind of thing. And we're like, Baby Meat is like just sitting on the counter. Like we need to move this.
Oh my A thrifted reborn doll is
Yeah,
hysterical. Yes.
it's crazy. And it was like behind the counter, it was like $75. We were like,
We need it.
oh
Yes.
my God. Like, so yeah, we spent $75 on a reborn baby. And it's so
Oh my
creepy.
God.
I should go get it, but yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I love. Okay, and then do you feel like a baby meat is now like part of like your, I guess, brand? Like your subscribers like know? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
people ask about baby meat all the time, and like people who are not like who don't know what that is, like I'm I'm
You
sure
have to
it's
tell the whole story.
yeah, it's a whole other thing I have to get into.
Yeah, but there are similar silly things in I think my content or my like subscriber base that has just been, that is my brand now, whether I asked for it or not, you know.
Oh yeah,
Which is like great because I didn't want to work very hard on the branding anyways, but now there
yeah.
are, there are like plenty
Yeah.
of things that is like
My
associated with me and with my content that I feel like, yeah, that I
Mhm.
didn't choose that, but we
Yeah,
got here somehow.
my subscribers will just like come up with this stuff on their own. Like I've got a Discord server and I'll just get in there sometimes and they're like, we've created this whole lore about this one thing in your videos. And I'm like, cool.
Okay.
I love it. I accept. But
Oh
no,
my
it's so much fun. It's like my favorite part of like doing YouTube, I guess, like the content creation.
Yeah.
Like the people and like the community that it creates with just these random inside jokes and stuff. It's like the one thing that makes me just so happy.
100%. I love silly inside jokes that come from being in like a community around someone. It just really gets me. I know nothing about gaming or games, but I'm happy to be here. Love these chats. I'm glad that you're just like along for the ride.
I'm happy here.
What are you playing like right now? Is there something you're like binging in particular?
I haven't been playing too much recently, just with like everything going on. So it's probably, I mean, it's been a few weeks, I think, since I've played anything. But I'll play Overwatch here and there. I haven't really been playing it since they did Overwatch 2, which pisses me off. I'm not gonna get into that. They basically were like, we're gonna create a sequel to Overwatch, but instead of just like creating a sequel, they're just like, we're just gonna get rid of Overwatch 1 and make this the new Overwatch. I don't know why they would do that. Anyway,
Oh.
it pisses me off. So I'll play that here and there. I love Fire Emblem. I recently finished my second playthrough of Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is such a wonderful game. It is so good. And then I've been, when I don't feel like putting a lot of brain energy into what I'm doing, then I'll just play like those like silly like Japanese otome like visual novel games where
So
it's
fun.
yeah,
So fun.
and like Alec will be sitting next to me like watching while I'm like I'm like, which dude should I pick? I'm like trying to seduce these guys. I'm like, which one's the cutest? And it's always really weird situations like, oh, they're in the mafia and you're secretly a dragon and they're gonna rescue you from something. I don't know. They're so weird, but they're so much fun to just
Yeah.
do.
Sometimes that's what you need is like mindless, just fun. Just fun.
Mm-hmm.
My go-to, I don't know if you play any mobile games, but there's always the meme of like the kids like, you got games on your phone?
Yeah,
And so I used to be a nanny, and when I was a nanny, I consistently just had so many games on my phone because it was like, please shut up, like pick any game, like I need to go like fold your dirty laundry or whatever. And like I haven't been a nanny in a decade, but I still have a soft spot for mobile games, and my favorite mobile game since college, it was like my turn off the brain and do something else for a few hours, is called Gardenscapes, and it's literally
I've heard of
it's kind of like a match 3. It's basically Candy Crush except it's like nature instead of candy, and it's so fun. I'm so addicted. I have
I think I've heard of it.
sunk so many so many hours, I'm sure, into that game. Like if Gardenscapes was on Steam, that would probably be like my top game. But that is definitely like my comfort mobile game.
I've definitely heard of it. I haven't played it. I play mobile games here and there, but it's always like just the random, like I like playing solitaire and like Sudoku. I play those kinds of mobile games.
Yeah. Have you read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow? Great question.
I have not. I think I've heard of it. It sounds kind of familiar, but I have not.
I would love to know your thoughts. It's was released last year from Gabrielle Zevin, who also wrote the story life of AJ Fickery and Elsewhere.
Oh,
But it has to do with game developers, and it's like the two main characters like meet in college and they make a video game together, and it becomes like super super popular, and then kind of follows the rest of the following couple of decades as they create more games and get older and have complicated lives together. But there's this like constant thread of game culture throughout the book, and it's so much fun. I loved it.
Yeah, I just looked up the Goodreads like summary, and it looks super fun. I will have to get that actually because that sounds amazing.
It was way too much fun. And the other book about games that I loved, that's not fiction, but it's a graphic novel, well, graphic nonfiction called Tetris by Box Brown, and it's just like the crazy backstory about the origin of Tetris.
Yeah.
It's just so well done. I love it.
Have you seen the new movie recently about Tetris?
I still haven't watched it. My partner and I saw the trailer.
It's
and
so
like, this is gonna be amazing. Is it good?
So good. Yes, it's really good.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it. Hello. Thanks for stopping by, bud. I haven't played anything since I was a kid. My brothers had a PlayStation growing up, but recently I've been feeling like there's a game out there that would be my favorite and I'm missing out. There really is a game for everyone. There is a lid for every pot, let me tell you.
Absolutely. There are so many games out there, and more created like every day, like from like ones you haven't heard of, made by people you've never heard of. Like it's not always like the big, God of War or, the big studios. Like there's games everywhere.
For sure. And I think there is definitely some barrier to entry that like I didn't know how to build a PC. Not that you have to have a PC, but like Wes helped me build my setup and it helped me kind of get into some of the greater like culture of like I had Steam and Discord like like since forever, but just kind of diving in and navigating the community is its whole own like strange world, and that I think is not always the most welcoming place, but
especially for women, and any minority at all.
Exactly. 100%. But yeah, there are all kinds of games. I am just since a few weeks ago on my Stardew Valley Renaissance again. Like I really thought I had played that game to death, and I am so fully back in my Stardew era again.
So fun.
Yeah, it is a joy having the time of my life.
For me, it's Sims. Sims is like I grew up with that. Played it since Sims 1, in 2000, and I've love that franchise. Play that all the time.
See, I was never really a Sims girly, but I was a Zoo Tycoon girly. Zoo Tycoon. There's Planet Zoo is like, I don't think it's like the same producers, but it's the same. It's like a spiritual sequel to Zoo Tycoon, and I will just load up Planet Zoo and build a little fantasy zoo for hours and hours. And
I haven't played Planet Zoo, but I was all about Zoo Tycoon. I was also this game like on the PC forever ago, Theme Hospital, and I was like super into Theme Hospital. It's literally the same. It's like the same, Zoo Tycoon or Roller Coaster Tycoon. You just make a hospital, which is really boring. But it wasn't the same, but they also had like a spiritual successor kind of thing, and I'll randomly play that here and there, and I'm like, nice.
The nostalgia just really hit. Yes. Wow. This has been so much fun. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you decided to come on happy hour with me. What a delight. I feel like we have all the same interests.
Yeah.
Um, before we go, do you have anything like upcoming or projects in the works that you would like to talk about?
The store is the biggest one just because that is like taken up all the time right now. And will probably be like my biggest focus for, the upcoming future. Um, but I am always thinking about Project Orion, and I was recently getting back into Project Orion and like starting draft 3. So like there may be that stuff here and there. But yeah, the store is like the biggest thing. I know it's not writing related, so not everyone will probably be excited about it, but it's very exciting and it's happening, and like it is so much work, but
Yeah,
we're super excited.
that's amazing. Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Happy Hour. I will definitely be in your DMs about all things games and all
Please.
things writing.
Mhm.
And also for everyone in the chat that joined us today, thank you for coming to Happy Hour. I will see you next month in June sometime, and all of Adele's links and her store, Instagram, and everything is in the description. So please go give her some love.
Thank you.
And otherwise, I will see you later. Love you. Bye.
Bye.